My name is Whitney. I am the owner of Shine His Light Ventures. We are a business consulting firm that helps new businesses, entrepreneurs, startups get situated as far as launching their business, or if you need a little business advice or help, or if you are needing business consulting services, we offer those as well. But yeah, today, I guess this is going to be a thing. I didn't plan on videoing today, but as you can tell by my Shine His Light Ventures, this is a faith-based company, so we do everything on the time of God. And when God says talk about this, that's what we're going to do. So, this is new for me. I'm getting used to it, but you know what? We're here to get started. So here we are. So today, what we're going to talk about, maybe a little bit longer form today, we're going to talk about 7 habits, tips, tricks, as far as being an entrepreneur, things that you need to get rid of, things you got to do, to really consider being an entrepreneur and what that looks like. So let's dive in. The first thing I would say as an entrepreneur, or we talked about mindset yesterday. So the first thing as an entrepreneur and these aren't going in any particular order. I was just kind of like writing them down this morning. So as they were coming to me of things that I had to do as an entrepreneur that I can hopefully encourage you to do as well. So yeah, no particular order, but as an entrepreneur, the first thing that I'm going to mention that I had to do was get comfortable with things that made me uncomfortable. So to expound on that a little bit, what I mean by that is I don't love public speaking. I can absolutely do it, but I don't love it. Hence why we're here today. I'm more of a behind the scenes kind of gal, and I'm okay with that. So this is new for me. And that's okay. It makes me uncomfortable. Like I kind of have to disassociate a little bit before I come on here, but that's okay. I'm working through it. So it makes me uncomfortable, but at the same time, it helps me develop a skill. It helps me to get comfortable with something, even though it's not my first choice, that I can do it in the future. So things like this, doing things that make you uncomfortable. So maybe that's going up to someone and going to a networking event that you need for your business and actually starting those conversations, handing your business card to someone, reaching out for a mentor, someone that you really look up to, where you're like, oh, I don't want to like be a burden on them. The worst thing that you can do is reach out to them and they, one, don't get back to you, or they say no. But at that point, you can take that and move on and find another mentor, someone else that maybe has the capacity to be able to take you on as a mentee. The second thing I would say has to change, or a habit that you kind of need to develop, is looking at your finances. Looking at your finances. You're going to have to break some financial habits. That's for sure. As an entrepreneur, you're going to really want to get a handle on your personal finances, because until you get or obtain financial capital, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be supporting your business with income that you're getting. Maybe you have another job, you have a full-time job, and you're doing this on the side, which is completely fine. That's how a lot of us start out. That's how I started out. So if you have to decide what no longer is serving you. If you have every subscription service out there, maybe we got to look at which ones do we really use. Maybe we keep a couple and we get rid of other ones. Or do we have some bad habits that we partake in on the weekends? I don't know what people's lives are like, but you can kind of take that and imagine what that could be. If it's draining your extra funds, then that's something to reevaluate, because if you're as a business owner and you supplying capital to your business, there are going to be things that you have to give up to be able to support that business. Because there have definitely been times where I have given my last dollar, my last nickel and penny to my business to be able to get the things that I needed to support that business. So that happened for me too. I had to look at my finances and be like, okay, what can I give up? What am I spending frivolous money on? Is there a way that I can give up these things to support my business. So that's a habit that you absolutely have to look at as your finances. If you're seeing that you're spending extra on other things, people, I would never say, everything is poured into your business. You should absolutely have self-care, take yourself out for a meal or go to the movies. But you have to make some changes as far as, not doing those things as often, or maybe you budget a night out and it's not every weekend you're going out, or, every time, Friday comes around, you get that text message from a friend talking about let's go out. Maybe a couple of times a month, you're like, I can't actually, I'm going to be saving and budgeting for, to support my business. So the third thing that you're going to want to do or reevaluate are people, places, and things. For sure. You're going to want to reevaluate people, places, and things in your life. Starting a business, you're going to need to build community. And I'm not saying that your friends and family are bad people by any means, but while your mindset is changing, you're going to change as a person. So you might lose people along the way. That's not to say that the relationships can't be rebuilt at some point, but there's definitely a transition in the mindset that causes you to kind of go into isolation, or you start to be drawn towards people that are kind of on the same trajectory, and that's a good thing. You definitely want people in your corner that can feed into your dream, that can encourage you. You should be always trying to get in a room with somebody that is smarter than you in your industry that you are trying to develop your business in. You don't know everything. You don't know what you don't know. And so finding a mentor, because at that point you can tap into their resources and their community, and then broaden your community and learn as much as you can about your business. For me, I joined a business cohort, did that for a year. That was absolutely one of the most amazing experiences. I met some incredible women that were super encouraging. We laughed, we cried. It was very rigorous and hard, but we had the support of each other, which made it a very enriching experience. So, and the one thing that we had in common was we were trying to get our businesses off the ground and running, so we could identify with the struggles that we were going through. So you should definitely do that. You should have those people in your corner. Ooh, number 4 is a good one. Delayed gratification. I think this is good, not just for business, but in life in general. We got to accept delayed gratification, because there are very few businesses that open and they just pop off. Like, that's rare. And so we can't just expect, I'm going to get this business up and running and it's off to the races from here. It might be. You might be one of those people that can, break the code, but a lot of this is learning. A lot of this is giving, and the rewards come later. The reward is, I've done something to pour into this business today. The reward is, I have worked for myself today. I put something into the market, and the fruits will come later. So we have to be able, it's a lot like gardening. You're toiling, you're pulling up the soil, you're breaking ground, you're planting the seeds. The seeds don't come up overnight. So, but we keep tilling the ground, we keep pruning and watering and making sure that we're giving this seed sunlight so that it can grow. And that's exactly what it's like to have a business. You're pouring into it, you're nurturing it, you're learning the things that you need to learn, you're watering it, you're pruning if it's coming up, if there's a difficult situation or there's something that you need to get rid of so that your business can prosper, you do that. And the fruits don't always come out right away. The fallout of that doesn't always come right away. So delayed gratification is key. You just have to keep pouring, keep going, and don't get tired of doing good. It takes time for you to build a brand. It takes time for people to have brand recognition. You have to allow that and not get caught up in I see what other people are doing and it seems to be working for them. A lot of times people have been around for a lot longer than we realize, and then we look up and this person is well known and they're like, this business is well known, but nobody knows that they had already been around for 10, 15 years, 7 years, and all of the groundwork was finally starting to pay off when everybody starts to recognize this brand or this company. We have to be able to accept that, hey, you might pop off in a year, but a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, we're going to have to put our gratification on hold and just keep nurturing the business. 5, keeping things to yourself. If you have an idea, keep it to yourself. Start developing the idea. You don't want to always let people in right away. People are going to people. Family's going to family. Friends are going to friends. And sometimes an idea can seem crazy to people. That's not their fault. That society tells us, we're supposed to walk in a straight line. We're supposed to follow all the rules. We're supposed to line up. We're supposed to clock in to everybody's job and get a paycheck, which is fine if that's what you choose to do. But as an entrepreneur, you have to be a little bit crazy. You have to be a little bit delulu, because when I say that, you have to have a little bit of delusion, because reality will tell us that this is crazy and you can't do it. You need to just fall in line with what everybody else is doing. That's safe. That's what I mean by that. But as an entrepreneur, you're kind of in this spot where you're like, I can believe I can do anything. If I put my all into this, I believe that I can get this off the ground. And so you kind of have to stay there. There's definitely going to be instances where you're like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? Did I make the right decision? This is crazy. This is insane. Who do I think I am? But yeah, who do you think you are? Are you an entrepreneur? Then yeah, you're barking up the wrong tree. You're barking up the right tree. You have to be a little extra, a little bit of, taking risks, willing to take a risk, because it is a risk opening a business. There's no guarantee that it'll do well, but you gotta be consistent. Number 6 is getting organized. Get organized from the very beginning. Get yourself organized. If you have an idea to be an entrepreneur, go ahead and start making files, folders. Go get some folders if you like to use paper. Find a resource. Start taking notes. OneNote. I'm trying to think of places that notepads on your phone where you can Pinterest is a good idea. Don't want to find yourself in the thick of it and you can't find things, or you need a form for this, you need your EIN. Start organizing your emails. Develop a new email altogether for your business. So once your business is up and running, you can start receiving those specific emails to that email address, because the last thing you want to do is be trying to find business emails in your personal email. We know our personal emails are already inundated with so much stuff. The last thing you want to do is miss something in relation to your business because you're not organized in that way. Organize your receipts. Find a free app that can help you organize yourself as much as possible. I mean, worst comes to worst, start saving your receipts somewhere in a box. Maybe get a box or something, and at least start putting all of your business receipts in there. So that's at least a starting spot. If you're trying to find them at the bottom of your purse, or where did I find that receipt, and things like that, then that's gonna be rough. You're gonna want to be able to keep track of all your business expenses to ensure that by the time tax time is coming If you can't prove your purchases, then you can't write them off. Go speak to a lawyer. See if there's a person, if you have a friend that is willing to do an hour consultation with you. Or I know in Indianapolis, they have all kinds of small business seminars and things like that at the public library. So you can figure out what you need to have in place to make sure your business is legit. Side hustles are amazing. Side hustles are great, but when you start making a significant amount of money, the last thing you need is Uncle Sam coming for you because your business is not set up correctly. You could run into a lot of tax issues if your business is not set up correctly. So you want to do that research. You want to know if you need to file sole proprietorship, LLC, single member, partnership, S corporation, when is that appropriate? So you're going to want to look into those things, and you're going to want to keep track of all of your legal paperwork. So once you have actually filed under the government, keep all that stuff organized so you have it on hand if something goes awry. You want to get your separate EIN number. It costs nothing for the EIN number. I believe it's $99 in Indiana to file like an LLC or file under the government to get your business legitimized. But you can go get that EIN. You need to start separating yourself from your business. Number 7 is my favorite, I think. Have a student mentality. As a new entrepreneur, you do not know everything. So have a student mentality. Be humble and understand that there's a lot to learn. Even 3 years in with my other business, there's still room for me to grow. There's still room for me to learn. And I always keep a student mindset, because you don't want to be like, oh, I know that already. I don't need to attend that seminar. Even if they're covering information you already have gained, you might have missed something somewhere. So always make sure that you have a student mentality, willing to listen, willing to learn. For me, I love YouTube University. I don't do a lot of Netflix, Hulu, or anything like that. If you find me, I'm probably on YouTube, figuring out something, learning the definition of something, calling on the phone. I will stay on the phone with a government agency for an hour to figure out if I'm doing things correctly, what's missing. I always want to have an understanding of what's going on. You don't want to be in a situation where you forget with like the BOI stuff. That was, file today, file this. You don't have to file all the back and forth. You want to stay abreast to those things. So you need to learn what a BOI is, what's the meaning, what does it mean, when do I need to do it, and you do it. With all the back and forth, I just went ahead and filed because I was like, if they take it, they take it. If they don't need it, they don't need it. But it's at least going to be on file, so I don't have to worry about, and it's $80 or something to file that. But it was an $80 I didn't have to worry about as far as if they needed this information or when they were going to rule, if they were going to take this information or not. So having a student mentality, keeping your ear to the ground of your industry, the pulse on the ground to your industry, join Facebook groups, join beginner groups. When I first started learning how to make candles, I was in all the groups. The beginners group, the middle group, and then you find and you glean from people. There are so many people out here willing to give you information for free. All you have to do is ask and look for it. The first few months I was in my candle business, I reached out to a lady that was a candle maker. I blasted it on one of the candle groups, asking for anybody to mentor me through this because I was just so lost. And a lady was so kind, and I was able to send her samples as she was an experienced candle maker and get her ideas, get her opinions on what my candle was like. And I was like, I was proud of my little candle, but she had some feedback for me. But I took that in, I learned from it, and she was sweet enough to do that for free. And there are people out here that are willing to teach you. You just have to keep an open heart, an open mind, stay humble. You don't know everything, but you'll eventually get to the level where you know enough to be dangerous. And so that's a beautiful thing when you get there, when you can turn around and realize that, hey, I could actually teach somebody else because of the things I've learned. That's another reason why I enjoy doing things on my own, is because at that point you're empowered, and if you speak to somebody else, they can't just shoot you anything. You're less likely to take advantage if you know the jargon. You're less likely to be taken advantage of if you know the jargon. You're less likely to be taken advantage of or get involved with a scam if you know what to expect in a situation. You know the lingo. You know the language that they're using. You know what form they're talking about. You don't have to know everything, but you should know enough where you should never be in a situation where you're so hands off, you're letting everybody else run your business, and you don't know what's going on until you're getting a knock on the door saying that something isn't right. Always keep a student mentality. Always know what's going on within your business. Be willing to learn. Be willing to get your hands a little dirty. There are some things that you can take your hands off of, but I think you should absolutely know, as far as your banking and how you set up your taxes and things, you should be well abreast. You should know what's going on with that kind of stuff. And this is just this is just a little nugget. I know I said 7. This is just one last thing that I wanted to add to the video, and that is never give up. Never give up. Don't do it. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your business. You can take pauses. You can reevaluate. You can rebrand. But if you know that your calling is to be an entrepreneur and you have a servant heart, don't give up. Don't quit before the miracle happens. Keep going forward. See through it all. Challenges are hard, but you can do hard things.